Need cheap coins right now? Check out redzonecoins.com. For the very best discount available, use code DIRECTOR for 20% off. Yo, what up, brothers? What's up? It's the Director. Chargers fans, got a very important game coming up this Monday, our first primetime game of the year. And I want to go over with you guys all the things you got to know in that matchup. I feel like the Chargers have found new life this week as Justin Herbert has officially been named QB1 of the Bolts. This is very exciting news for Chargers fans, as Herbert has proven he can keep the Chargers as a threat in any game with his efficiency on offense. Now, that being said, Herbert still hasn't found a win in his first 3 games. Could this be the one? Now, granted, he's been playing against some pretty stiff competition. In Herbert's first 4 games, he will have played against Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and now Drew Brees. These are some of the biggest names in football, and yet I feel most Chargers fans would agree that Herbert has held his own. But will he have what it takes to keep pace with Drew Brees and this New Orleans Saints offense that seems to be heating up? The rookie will start his first game under the lights of Monday Night Football in just a few short days. To me, this is the perfect opportunity for Herbert to show the world that he is the next big name in the NFL. All that and more later in this video. Guys, before we get started, hit us up with a like and sub if you do enjoy this Chargers content. The small amount of time you guys take to hit the like, sub, and bell notification helps me out a lot. You know what also helps me out a lot? Check out the merch store right underneath this video. Pick up a Stay Frosty t-shirt if you guys would like to support the channel in that way as well. And the shirts are pretty fire. Let's get into this video. Lights, camera, action. All right, boys and girls, let's get things started as we normally do with the injury report. Now, seeing as the game is on Monday night this week, the full injury report has not yet been released. So we're going to go to our buddy Daniel Popper on Twitter to get the full report here. Matter of fact, let's make things just a little bit bigger here. So for the Chargers, on the Chargers side of the ball, there's a couple names on here that we're not unfamiliar with as having struggled staying on the field in Brian Bulaga and Trey Turner. Now, this is really unfortunate, man. At the beginning of the season, I was so excited. The Chargers were aggressive and went after a couple of the better, offensive linemen in free agency and one via trade. But so far, it doesn't seem like it's been working out. Hopefully, these guys can get healthy really soon. Next, we do have Joey Bosa, who is listed as limited on this list. He does seem like he's been playing a little bit hobbled, not 100%, but still, I do expect to see him suit up on Monday. And lastly, Mike Williams is limited in practice right now with a hamstring injury. That one's kind of 50-50 in the air, but I do like his odds to play on Monday as well. Next, let's take a look at the Saints. What are the Saints looking at as far as their injuries themselves? Jared Cook is limited. Marcus Davenport is limited. There's a lot of these guys that are very questionable. I feel like, Chargers fans know what it's like to have a hobbled team. I feel like the Saints do as well. Probably some of the bigger names to look out for here are Jared Cook, Davenport, Janoris Jenkins, and Malcolm Jenkins, Marshawn Lattimore, Ryan Ramczyk, Adrius Pete, Michael Thomas. All of these guys are limited. And honestly, guys, as we get closer to game day on Monday, if any of these guys are ruled out, these are pretty big names, man. Like, these are our players and positions that we're going to have to pay attention to so that we can attack them with their secondary, their second strings and guys like that if the opportunity does present itself. So there you have it for your injuries. Let's get into the thick of this video. Former Chargers quarterback will be facing off with new Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert in just a few short days. And honestly, it's kind of wild to think about because that gap in time just really makes me realize how far this team has come. Just the history of the Chargers in that time, it's crazy and impossible not to appreciate. But here's a fun stat. Drew Brees was drafted by the Chargers back in 2001, which means Brees was already playing professional football when Herbert was just 3 years old. Isn't that crazy? This speaks to how good Drew Brees has been throughout his career, but it also speaks to me really as like the game ushering in a new era. Kind of cool for Chargers fan. To me, it holds significance as a longtime fan myself. Now let's take a look at the game itself. Let's take a step back and see what we're dealing with here. First, I kind of want to put the spotlight on our defense because my eyes kind of tell me that something's not working, something's not clicking. Be it play calling, injuries, a mix of a couple of different things. The Bolts just don't really look the same on defense right now. We're currently giving up around 110 yards per game on the ground ground and around 260 yards through the air. This puts us around the middle of the pack of total yards allowed per game. I know the Chargers are better than this, and they're going to be facing another tough test this week as Drew Brees and company prepare against this hobbled Chargers defense, because we got a lot of injuries too, man. And the one thing I'm worried about is the Saints have proven that they can put up points, a lot of points. In their first 4 games of the season, they've scored 34, 34, 37 and 35 points. And this has come against the Bucks, the Raiders, the Packers, and the Lions. So a few suspect defenses in there, but a few strong ones as well. So I'm worried about containing the Saints offense this week, even if they're without Michael Thomas. But I really do still want to see this defense stand up under the lights this week. Show us that fire and determination that we saw in our home opener versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And I feel like there is a player that I can count on to ignite this defense and get them back to that same energy. His name is Joey Bosa. See, the Saints have given up a moderate amount of sacks this year, a total of 9 sacks on the season so far. I challenge Bosa to pick up a pair of sacks this week. Football can sound so weird sometimes. Something I feel Bosa is very capable of if Ryan Ramczyk is out this game. Ryan Ramczyk is the Saints' right tackle. He's on the injury report. In our game versus Kansas City, you could see the energy of this defense swell once Joey Bosa took down Mahomes for his first sack against the Chiefs quarterback. I believe that Bosa can lead the charge once again, this time versus Brees. I do think he's up to the challenge, but we do need to talk about the big name on the Saints that our defense is going to have to contain this week, and his name is Alvin Kamara. Kamara? I say Kamara. This guy has been absolutely ridiculous in his first 4 weeks of football this year, and he's going to be tricky to contain this week. And I feel like our defensive line can probably contain him in both inside and outside zone runs. But what I'm really worried about is how do we stop him in his receiving game? The man can do everything. Who do we match up against him? Now, luckily, the Chargers have a very similar player on our roster. His name is Austin Eckler. Please come back soon. So our team will likely have an edge in knowing how to slow down an elite receiving back like Kamara. How are they gonna do this? I don't know. Maybe man him up with King or Davis, maybe a linebacker like White. Either way, Kamara is probably the biggest threat we need to watch out for this week. If the Chargers can slow down Kamara, maybe not completely wipe him out, but like slow him down, I think we have a chance at containing this Saints offense as a whole. But now let's talk about the most exciting part of this game, in my opinion, the offense. The Chargers have transformed these last few weeks. We were once seen as a minor threat on offense, but a huge threat on defense. It's since then shifted. The Bolts defense has been good, but our offense has been pretty damn efficient. That's all thanks to Justin Herbert. This guy stepped in week 2 and completely transformed this offense. So what am I looking for Herbert and the Bolts to do offensively this week? Attack, attack, attack. Once again, we have to keep up with our opponent offensively, but it's going to be an extra tough game for us both on the ground and through the air, because the Saints have proven to be pretty stingy against the run so far, only allowing 3.6 yards per carry, and we are without Austin Eckler. It may be a struggle getting things going on the ground. Now still, we have good backups in Jackson and Kelly to fill in. I don't think our run game disappears, but it certainly won't be as effective as we've seen in the first few weeks. As for our air attack, the Saints are still pretty tough against wide receivers. I still think Keenan Allen will have a solid game individually, but outside of that, I'm not really sure. But with Malcolm Jenkins, Janoris Jenkins, and Lattimore all questionable, there may be a few soft spots in their secondary that Herbert can expose. And at this point, if their defense gives Herbert an opening, I fully expect him to take it. But still, every team has a weakness. The Saints have a weakness, and I think I know what it is this week. Newsflash, the Saints suck against tight ends. See, they rank near the bottom of the league versus the tight end position. We happen to have a couple pretty good ones on this team. Herbert to Henry is something I fully expect to hear a lot of this week. I think Hunter Henry, he's going to be the guy that we're leaning on, and I think he has a really good shot at going for over 100 and a score this week. And honestly, when paired up with Justin Herbert, he's extra dangerous. Magical things happen. But let's not forget one of our standout players from last week as well, Donald Parham, formerly of the XFL, put on a great show on Sunday, hauling in an impressive touchdown. Parham's got the ability to block out defenders just with his size alone, standing at 6'8". I want to see him on the field a lot more this week. And, I think his touchdown came at the perfect time last week. It should spell confidence in his coaches to get him back out there. I want to see 2, maybe even 3 tight end formations. I want to see both Henry and Parham running routes, maybe even at the same time. Because to me, if the Saints' biggest weakness is against the tight ends, I want to make sure we're throwing everything we have against him. Because with names like Herbert, Henry, Parham, we should feel very comfortable in that game plan. So all this being said, let me throw out some hot takes here real quick. Now I'm gonna be speaking with my gut. First off, I have a strong feeling about Herbert in this game. I don't know what it is, but I feel like we may see his best performance of the year so far. Against the Saints, I know it's crazy, but my gut is telling me somewhere north of 330 yards. Is that nuts? I don't know, but he would certainly win over a lot of fans in his first primetime game with numbers like that. Now, secondly, I do think Bosa is up to the challenge. I think he puts up a pair of sacks against Breeze. And lastly, I think this game turns into a full-on shootout. We're currently projected to lose by more than a touchdown with an over-under of 50.5. I think it'll be higher than that. And I think the game's gonna be close. So to close out this video, what do I think is gonna happen? Well, let's do something a little bit different this week. I'm gonna give you guys two scores. I think the first is probably more realistic. All right, so I'm gonna say Chargers 24, Saints 31. It seems like the most logical and realistic outcome for me. Herbert still puts up a good game and the Chargers once again keep it close. However, I want a hot take as well. I want my gut feeling prediction as well. Chargers 33, Saints 28. I don't know, man. I feel like Herbert's really going to have a great game, perhaps his best so far. And I want the score to reflect that. I truly believe that this team is absolutely capable of taking down the Saints. And this could be a huge game, a huge win for the Chargers going forward. If the Chargers can take down the Saints under the lights of Monday Night Football, I think this could put us on the map as solid playoff contenders. Because looking forward, we have a lot of pieces coming back at some point. Eckler, Chris Harris Jr., our best O-lineman in Turner and Bulaga, and of course, Melvin Ingram. Go out there, win this game despite all the injuries, show that we're a more dangerous team than what others may have anticipated, and as we continue to get our studs back, our Pro Bowlers, our true threats back in the lineup, teams will start to learn that the Chargers are not to be taken lightly. Don't call it a comeback. Well, guys, I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, let me know in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think the score is going to be and how you think the Chargers should attack the New Orleans Saints. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you did enjoy this content, hit us up with a like and sub on your way out. This has been The Director, and as always, bolt up and stay frosty.